David Rothery in London. He's a professor of planetary geosciences. Prof, when we were talking a little bit earlier, you explained that the data from this volcano, we've only had it for about 100 years. So was it something that was expected and to be as powerful as the one that we saw happen on Saturday?
This volcano was active in December, just small-scale activity from what we now recognise as the rim of the caldera. Nobody knew there was going to be a big eruption. The last report said activity is dying down. But if you look at the size of the undersea volcano, it's something which clearly has had big eruptions in the geological past, and it's perfectly normal for such a volcano to have an eruption like it had yesterday, but there was no warning of it. Being underwater, it's hard to monitor. If it had been above sea level, we could have monitored how the ground surface inflates as magma gets pumped into the caldera and so on, but that's not possible underwater. So this eruption, when it happened, was a surprise, but it's normal behavior for this kind of volcano to do something like this every few tens of thousands of years.
And David, are there now concerns that we are going to get more eruptions and that further eruptions could actually happen on a greater scale and possibly cause more damage?
I think that's unlikely. I can't find any reports of what the volcano is doing now. Looking at the satellite imagery, there doesn't seem to be a lot of ash being emitted now. So I expect the biggest volcanic eruption of this cycle has now happened. There could be small-scale ash emissions, such as you were showing in your video feed earlier on for a while. But the big eruption, I think, has happened. And certainly the tsunami threat has passed. The issue now is the damage to water supplies through all that seawater we see rushing ashore now. That will damage the groundwater and all the volcanic ash, which is going to settle out from the sky onto Tonga. And that's going to cause a pollution problem with groundwater and a health problem if people breathe it in. But the ash is also being blown towards Australia. It's over New Caledonia right now. There are zones in the sky where it's not safe to fly.
Yeah, that was something I actually wanted to touch on, because that ash cloud reportedly stretched 20 kilometers into the sky. I mean, that's really difficult to imagine. How long does it take for something like that to actually clear and for those skies to become, for it to be possible rather for aircraft to fly through there and provide help to those who need it?
Okay, well, the initial eruption went very quickly up into the stratosphere. As you say, that's 20 kilometers, and then it's been blown towards the west by the prevailing winds. It's spread a little way to the east, but mostly to the west. And this could go right around the world before it disperses. Previous volcanic ash clouds have been tracked around the world. So that you see the cloud just moving off from its initial eruption there. It didn't spread very far north to south, so that the ash cloud is about 500 kilometers north to south, but several thousand kilometers east to west. And that's a zone in the sky through which you don't want to fly. It's going to hit the Australian coast near Brisbane. It's over New Caledonia right now. So it will be difficult to fly aid into Tonga, certainly with jet aircraft, because if you ingest ash into a jet engine, it can clog the engine, you lose all power, and you've got to land without engines. So aircraft will not be venturing into this zone. So aid to Tonga is probably better taken in by sea. And I understand the New Zealand and Australian navies may well be sending ships there to help out.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be several days until we see the real effects of this volcano. Professor David Rothery, live to us there from London. Thank you so much for your expertise on this matter.